Hello, hello, you beautiful souls. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Michelle. We talk all things life, love, spirituality, law of attraction, and all of that juicy goodness. We are here for our weekly energy reading. We're going to open up some sacred space. I got a message this morning that I wanted to share with you all, and it was a story that it crossed my mind. I had read it in a book, and I was like, somebody needs to hear this message. I think in our last, or maybe something that I filmed a couple days ago, it was like fresh in my mind. And it was about like how to handle chaos when things are falling apart, or maybe a pet passes away, or maybe you lose one of your businesses. There's a method to the madness, right? Let's call in our guides real fast. Archangel Michael, Archangel Metatron, please open sacred space. Please only allow the highest and whitest light messages to come through. Bless me. Bless my cards. Bless my beautiful viewers. As soon as I started to pray, I just felt like this overwhelming sense of like clarity, like I'm meant to be here. I'm meant to be doing this. That's how I know my guides are with me, is they make me feel so at ease. And it's like, I guess it's a peaceful feeling. Because anytime I'm like, should I film today? Should I not? As soon as I pray and I feel that, I'm like, okay, I meant to do it. And it's like a deep clarity. So the story that I wanted to share with you was, I'm going to start with a God deck, my Course in Miracles deck. There was a guy who had three different stores, right? He had three different stores and they were so successful. And I forget, I think it was like antique shops, I'm not sure. And there was some sort of natural disaster that came in and destroyed one of his stores. And he was somewhat devastated. He was kind of like relieved, like, oh my gosh, because he was working from like 8 a.m. till 11 p.m. Trying to manage all three stores. And he had a family at home, he had a wife with kids. So he is working his butt off, never really spending time with his family. And then the universe intervenes and makes one of his shops kind of implode. And then a few years later, the second shop went down in a fire. So then all these people are like, man, this guy has the worst luck. Bad things just happen to him. Like they kind of were, not wanting to stay away from him, but that's the kind of energy that people were saying about him. And at that point, he was working probably like eight to eight, maybe. He was still working long hours. So now he's down to one shop and he can't afford his big home anymore with his family and his kids. But their energy and their mindset around it all was, thank God these are gone now. We can move into a smaller house and now we can spend time with our dad. So that whole delayering and letting go and removing, he was not willing to let go. So the universe removed it because he didn't know how out of alignment he was. He was not spending any time with his kids. And they say, when we transition, the only thing that we take with us is our relationships and our feelings and our memories with them, and not the success and the money. And yes, we have impact in our soul mission, but if you're neglecting your own children in order to get that impact, there's something there that you have to look at. So even though the whole world saw him going through this like implosion of his business, it was actually beneficial to everybody involved, with his kids, his wife, him, his mental health. Now he's working a normal like 8 to 5 job and he gets to spend time with his kids. And who cares about the bigger house? Now they have a smaller house, less responsibility, more time together, and the intimacy and the coziness, the way they described it, now that he's only working with one shop in a smaller home with less to do around the house, he just feels more in alignment. And to me, that's the greatest thing ever, because now you're like, all right, I'm not going to get sick now either. He could have suffered some health issues from all of that excess work. Okay. Just checking my phone real fast. I do not perceive my own best interests. Here's what it looks like. What could you not accept if but you knew that everything that happens, all events, past, present, and to come, are gently planned by one whose only purpose is your good? Oh my goodness. What could you not accept if but you knew that everything that happens, all events, past, present, and to come, are gently planned? You guys, this is exactly what I was talking about. We have to trust that when things are unfolding and when things are breaking down or we get in car accidents like I did, I can't even tell you the amount of like change that I've experienced in my life, in my body since December 1st. I am a completely different human. I am managing my finances differently. I gave up caffeine. I literally have a different routine to take care of my body. I don't work out the same way I used to work out. You know, that's a slight change, but I'm definitely more aware of my spine, right? I'm more aware of how I sleep. That was a huge thing. I used to sleep on my couch a lot. I just would love to I just like the coziness and having the back of the couch there. It feels like you're either sleeping with somebody or it's just like that womb space energy. And now I realize how bad that is for my spine because you're supposed to sleep on your back. You're supposed to sleep on your back with your neck like gently, with something gently underneath your neck, but your head should still be back almost flat. And that's how we're supposed to sleep. We're not supposed to sleep on our bellies. It's terrible for the lumbar part of our spine. Um, so anyway, my accident, that whole chaotic day literally changed the course of how I take care of myself. I feel like somebody took like, I don't know, it was like a little mini boot camp that I went through, and it was just like, Michelle, you need to clean up your act. You're not taking care of your body when you sleep. You're drinking caffeine. You're doing all these things that are not in alignment, and I had to clean it up. Okay, let's see. We have, oh, this is the Sword of Light deck. It says liberation. Wow. 34. Awakening energy. Look at the eye. Anytime you see an eye, if you want to be an intuitive reader, anytime you see an eye on a card, that is the person trying to depict somebody's going through an awakening. Somebody sees you now. You see more of your connection with God and with source, which tends to be when it comes to partnership is that's what draws two people together is when there's God in the middle of the connection. But how beautiful are her wings. So liberation, somebody is freeing themselves from something, letting go. That guy was liberated from all of those responsibilities. He was able to let go. And he didn't know he needed to let go until he was forced to let go. So where in your life can you create change? And where can you accept? It says, I do not perceive my own best interest. That means we can't steer the ship. We cannot drive the car. We cannot use our ego to drive our lives. We have to surrender. I feel like I think I'm going to name this video all about surrender because your ego will surrender too. Your ego is so tricky. It'll say, okay, I can let go of this and I can do this so I can get that. And that's still the mind trying to attain. We want to have full liberation from the mind, from the ego. We want to be fully connected to source. And when you realize that what you desire is right outside of that circle, everything that you desire is right outside of your bubble, and you have to be the one to open your arms and invite it in. And the only thing that is ever blocking us from receiving our desires is our own ego. It's our own resistance. You know, having something that makes you feel like this can be really scary for somebody who's been in trauma their whole life, who, they don't want to believe that good things can happen because when something good happened to them as a kid, maybe they got abused afterwards, right? Or maybe they got shamed. So we have to surrender and let go of our own opinion about why something is happening and just let it go. Okay. So liberation, surrender. Those are our first two messages. Okay, now we're going to use Doreen Virtue's angel deck, angel messages. You already know. So you already know what you need to let go of. It's that little whisper in your heart. You're like, I think I need to do this, but I'm not sure. Okay, let's do another angel deck. This is a more religious one. I think it has Bible verses on it. Wow. His coming is as brilliant as the sunrise. Bathe in divinity. Sweet little baby. Baby Jesus. Bathe in divinity. His coming is as brilliant as the sunrise. Wow. And I just heard of the flash of light. So apparently, a lot of spiritual teachers, one of my favorites, Ann Tucker, she has been getting messages from her angels for years about this flash of light. And I follow the solar weather. Stefan Burns, he has his whole YouTube channel about the solar weather and what's going on with the sun. And he teaches about sunspots and flares and radiation storms and geomagnetic storms. And they're saying, well, Ann Tucker's angels are saying we're going to have 3 days of darkness. There's going to be this huge flash of light, whether the 3 days of darkness are literally darkness, or maybe the grid goes down and we're forced to stay inside for some reason, or maybe there's darkness because there's an earthquake and a gas gets emitted into the air and we can't go outdoors because it might kill us. I actually had a dream where that happened, where I remember seeing, and I even posted it in one of my readings. If you guys have been following me for a while, you probably will remember me saying this. But I had a dream that there was these dark clouds often off in the distance, and I could see people walking towards the clouds, and then all of a sudden their body would just fall. And I was over here curled up in a ball, staying away from the smoke and the clouds. And I was like, no, don't go towards it. Like, it's almost like they were like, ooh, what's this? Let's go towards it. And I was like curled up in a ball going, no, don't go, you're gonna die, and then I woke up from my dream. So there's these predictions out there, and we don't know when things are going to happen, if it's even going to happen. But there's been a ton of earthquakes recently. So I would not be surprised if there was some sort of earth rift where the earth opened up and emitted some sort of gas or a volcanic eruption. But it says, bathe in divinity. His coming is as brilliant as the sunrise. So I feel like our angels are saying heaven on earth is coming. This light is coming. It's as brilliant as the sunrise. That's very, very direct. So that could also mean, if things are breaking down before this happens because you're needing to be moved to live with somebody, to remove yourself from a situation, to be safe, so that when we are in the 3 days of darkness, you're in the right spot. You have to follow that. You have to liberate yourself from your ego and trust where your guides are trying to move you. Okay, let's do some Micah magic. It's an emotional time. Be gentle with yourself. Okay. Whoa. You are being admired online. 888, infinite abundance in all forms. This is kind of like the 10 of Cups card. It's like the joy, the peace, the happiness, the money, everything all in one shot. And it says, get out in nature. So maybe you're calling in your abundance. And a lot of times you'll see 777, you'll see 888s. That's at least what I experienced. That's why I made this deck, because in my experience, when money is coming in, I see those numbers. But you're being admired online. So sometimes when you're wanting to call in a partner, when you're wanting to call in some money, it's great to get out in nature. Ladies, this is for all the divine feminines. My neighbors know, my neighbors that are spiritually awakened, they know when they see me doing my walk around the neighborhood, they're like, she's manifesting money. They just know that that's my routine, because I've talked about it. Every time I go on a walk, I'm like, I'm manifesting money from thin air. Nature does something to your sacral chakra. It allows you to connect. It allows you to connect to that void, right? And when we are tapped into that energy, we are limitless. So on my walks, I'm not even thinking about money. I am just in the flow, listening to maybe good music, maybe listening to the birds, not focused on anything. I am just incredibly present and flowing and feeling good and feeling like the sun on my skin and feeling the breeze and just appreciating every conversation, every smile, anybody that I see on my walk. And that's what I see as our co-creator abilities, is when we put ourselves in that state more often, we're attuning ourselves to the universe. We're on the same frequency. We're on the same radio station. Okay. So anything that you've been manifesting prior to that walk, you are activating it on the walk. Or maybe you're not even walking. Maybe you're just sitting in nature. Maybe you're basking in the sun. Those are my greatest times where I've manifested the most money, is when I'm laying in the sunshine. So if it has been an emotional time and you're at your breaking point and you want that wealth transfer to come in, God is saying, bathe in divinity, trust that this light is coming, your transfer is coming. If you've been suffering for a really long time, judgment. I just saw the judgment card. The people that have been holding the money and have been greedy, and people that have been using money for awful things, that money is building and building and building outside of your doorstep energetically. And that transfer is coming in soon. So hold the line, get out in nature, enjoy everything, just be in a good feeling state to allow that door to open when it's meant to open. And I just heard, when you get your money, you have to surrender and say, God, show me how to use this money. You can't just get the money and hoard it and do whatever you want with it, right? We do not perceive our own interests. We are not using our ego for any of this. We're liberated now from the ego. And now we live a life of surrender. Okay, if you want this transfer to come in, you have to be willing to do what God wants you to do with it, right? Because you're getting it for a reason. We're literally living in a time where our planet is changing. So God's going to give the right people the money who are going to do good with it. And if you're not willing to do good with it and you're self-serving and you're just wanting to keep it for yourself, and I'm not saying you should get the money and just start giving it away to people because you're such a good person. Don't do that either, because the people that you might be giving it to, you might still be in this trauma wound of forgiving your abuser or people pleasing. There's a lot of unlearning that has to happen with that. So keep your money to yourself and then ask God to show you. Say, God, get my ego out of the way. Show me what to do with this money when the time is right. And then we have your soul tribe is coming. So that is also, be careful about who's going to come towards you when this wealth transfer comes in. There's going to be people that are going to say, you should do this and you should do that, but you're going to listen to your own intuition. You're going to listen to God and the universe, and you're going to say, okay, I'm not following anybody else's cues. I'm going to be mindful of your thoughts. I'm going to do what I feel guided to do, what my body is telling me to do. Butterfly spirit is here to bring you your wings, your new wings. I just posted on Instagram. I'm going to show you guys it. It's so beautiful. It's like an AI generated reel, but it was so pretty. Here it comes. Ready, set, here. Isn't it so beautiful, the little girl? She's floating through the sky. I don't know what, with her on her wings. I love it. Okay. Had to share. Oh no, they're cutting the grass outside. Hopefully you guys can't hear this. Weed whackers going crazy. Make a joy list. This is one of my favorite cards in this deck. So a lot of my clients and people that watch my channel, sometimes they don't even know what brings them joy. They're like, Michelle, what does that mean? And I'm like, literally, like, get out a list and write down ways that you feel, like how I was talking about how I feel in nature. That would be on my joy list. So on the days that I am feeling down and I am emotional and I'm not being mindful of my thoughts, I need to go to my list because my ego is getting the best of me and I just can't find clarity. So I go to my list and I'm like, okay, do I want to go for a drive in my car? Do I want to go get a yummy drink? Do I want to go play with my nieces and my nephews? Do I want to go get a massage? Do I want, like, my joy list is so long. There's so many different things. Do I want to take a nap? That could be on your joy list. So make a list so that when you are feeling low, you have a toolkit to go to help break you free from that. Because sometimes the energy of sadness, loneliness, feeling stuck, it's just an energy, and you just got to break through it like a glass wall or something. And you just got to say, no, this is my life, and I'm choosing to be different. I'm choosing to shift my energy right now. It's kind of like raising your frequency. Okay, we have call that person. Somebody might be calling you. A lot of times I read that way. Who is on your mind? Wow. I love this. You are being admired online. Somebody might be calling you, and you are on their mind. I just heard the opposite. Okay, we have feel good to attract good. Your angels are asking you to use them. Co-create your days and break down that builds character. So if you're going through that breakdown that we talked about, maybe things are falling apart, maybe you have to leave something, that's normal. That's part of manifesting. We have to be ready for change, and we have to surrender the ego and say, I trust why this thing is being removed from me. I trust why I got in a car accident. I trust my business burning down, whatever it is. And I'm not laughing because it's funny. I'm laughing because, like, it's wild how the universe does that. It's like literally intervenes when we need it. So we have to trust that it's building character in us. It's building us back. Actually, it's liberating us from the need to control our lives. I just heard that. It is liberating us from the need to control. So if you're somebody that's always trying to control everything, you might attract a situation that's going to force you to learn to let go. Okay, let's do some tarot, some angel wisdom tarot. This is what it looks like. So feel good to attract good. Butterfly spirit is here to bring you new wings. Co-create your days is all about, like, when you wake up each day, ask yourself, like, what do I want to create today? What do I want for myself? What do I want for my life? And write it down. Say, I want, 5 new clients today, or I want to make this amount of money today, or I want to laugh a lot today, or I want to see a bunch of signs today, spirit, bring me a bunch of signs, right? Okay, so we have Page of Earth, Page of Pentacles, scholarly, cheerful, dependable, mischievous, time to get to work. An excellent opportunity presents itself. Happy news about your career, promotions, or scholarships, a new area of study. So she has a bunny. If you can see the bunny next to her, the book. So the bunny sometimes represents fear. The bunny's like, oh no, can I do this? Am I smart enough? I'm scared. So the page is all about starting something new, not being afraid to go into a new direction. Because guess what that new direction is going to lead to? Your abundance. You're going to become the Queen of Pentacles. It says generous, practical, gracious, materialistic, the ability to make anything more beautiful, a love of family and home, be practical about how you proceed, a love of art and beauty, a sensible approach. So the Page of Pentacles becomes the Queen of Pentacles. That's the transformation. Yeah, and she's leaving the lack energy. So this is the Four of Pentacles. This is somebody who's scared to let go. They're scared to relinquish control of their finances. They don't want to give because they want to keep all that they have. Or they're scared. I just was reading one of the guys I follow on YouTube. His last name is actually Thornton too. I think it's Jordan Thornton. He's had so much success with his business, but he's in a season of depression and loneliness, and he feels he's scared to lose it all. So even when we like get to the top of the mountain, we still feel that sense of like, oh no, what if I lose it all? Or what if I'm not happy when I get there, right? So this is you working through those limiting beliefs to move yourself from somebody who's just starting something out in her business to then being successful, and then coming back to, okay, can I accept this success? Can I work on my nervous system to say, I'm going to surrender it all to the divine and say, okay, if I'm meant to be successful in this area, let me flow. Let me not try to control it. Let me not try to steer it, right? Because once you're there, follow the way you got there. You probably surrendered. You followed your nudges. You rested a lot. You took action when you knew it was inspired action. It doesn't change. Now that you're successful, you can just continue to follow that, right? And then we have balance, blending the ideas of others with your own to create something extraordinary. Successful compromise, the power of diversity, self-control, patience, and balance. So yeah, that's balancing the lack and the abundance. We have to neutralize it, right? We have to get into the middle of it where it's like, okay, you know, and they just gave me an example where there's something that I've learned to do to help myself with my finances, because I would always say like, okay, like I want to manifest millions, I want all this money, but then there's a little part of me that's like, Michelle, you don't know how to manage that much money, right? So I took action. I downloaded an app, and it was all a budgeting app. It's called Copilot. Such a cool app. You can manage all of your credit cards. You can manage all of your stocks. You can see how much money's coming in. You can see how much is going out. So at the end of the day, you can see how much you spent, or I'm sorry, at the end of the week or the month, you can see how much you spent on what. And you like label it. Like if you spent money on groceries, you tap groceries. So then literally at the end of the year, you can fully look and see, okay, I spent this much on groceries. I spent this much on business expenses. And it is so easy, and the app does it for you. And it just changed my inner story on I can't manage the money if I have a lot, because it feels like too much. Like less money is easier to manage, right? But I don't want less. I want to be abundant, but I also, I don't want to feel restrictive. So I took action and I did something different. And ever since I downloaded that app, I go in it every day, and I'm excited to look at it, and excited to look at my money, and excited to look how I'm saving and how I'm spending. And there's no restrictive energy anymore. I'm no longer feeling helpless. I feel in control. I feel like I'm in the flow, and I feel like I'm doing the right thing for myself. Feels like self-love. And now that I've done that, and you can even download, you guys, you can download that app, and you can even put in your fake money account. You can put in like, however many millions that you want, and you can pretend like you're budgeting and you're moving money into stocks. Like you can do that too, so that you're visually seeing the certain number that you want. So when you're balancing out the scarcity and the abundance, you might need to like take action in the middle to kind of neutralize it so that you don't feel scared and that you don't feel overwhelmed. So how can you balance your belief systems around money if that's what we're talking about here? It's not a coincidence that I was watching that guy, Jordan Thornton's post about his fear of success. He's made it, and now he's scared, and now he can't relax. So my goal is to teach all of you to find that like neutral energy before you reach that successful mark. We're going to do animal oracle, spirit animal oracle deck. This is what it looks like. And we have the flamingo. This always reminds me of Florida. I would not mind living in Florida one day. The sunshine there is just so amazing. I wouldn't want to deal with the hurricanes, but we have embraced the in-between. And then we have the skunk. Know your worth. Wow. So if you want to attract, if you want to be the Queen of Pentacles, and you want this new life, and you want this new business, and you want to thrive, and you don't want to have any kind of lack or scarcity energy, you also have to know your worth. There are tons of people that get to the top of the mountain, and then it's too much for them to hold, because maybe they were told they're not worthy as a kid, or maybe they were unconsciously told that they're not worthy. I have discovered so many things about myself, things that my mom was saying when I was in her womb, and things that she was saying from 0 to 3 years old. And she told me, we have these open conversations, and I would go home crying because I'm just like, man, like I was so neglected. I was so not wanted. I just, it was a lot for her. I was the fourth child. That's a lot to manage. And it almost like I was the tipping point for her. And I felt that. I felt the repercussions of that. So I always grew up thinking like I'm going to die young. And it's because in that energy of somebody not really wanting the fourth child, it can feel like a complete rejection of life. So I spent a lot of my whole life, honestly, up until, this past year, thinking that I'm not worthy of being here. And I would do these unconscious behaviors of pulling my feet up and never putting my feet on the ground. I've never really had a stable home. I've moved like 8 times in the past. I don't even know how many years. I just feel like I've never found a home base, and it's because I feel like I don't belong here. And I'm learning to, be the skunk that smells delicious and knows that she's worthy of being here, and she's worthy of having a partner, and she's worthy of having the money. So where in your life were you unconsciously told that you're not allowed to be here or that you're not wanted? That is so deeply rooted in our nervous system, and we have to embrace that period of time where we're emotional and we're sad because, wow, like that really hurts. And how do I process that? And how do I move forward? And how do I not let that stop me from having what I want in this life? I refuse. And look at the heart. That's a little love from the universe for you guys. You are not going to let your limiting beliefs from that experience from your past stop you from having what you want. You are going to take a stand and you're going to say, I'm worthy of being here. That is the past, and I'm not dragging the past with me. And in the in-between of me becoming that abundant version of me and you guys becoming that abundant version of yourself, you are going to find balance. You're going to realize, okay, like, and it's so funny because the balance, right? Think about like what a flamingo does. It balances on one foot. So these are direct messages from spirit saying you can balance. I would not be surprised if, I don't even know if I have any cards with the yin yang symbol on it. I just saw the yin yang. I was like, I wonder if we'll get a card that has that on it. Okay, we're gonna do some more angel messages. Another angel deck. Don't settle for less. Heck yes. Archangel Michael says, you are a child of the divine and you deserve to have your dreams come true. Don't give up. Look at that surprise face. Look at the butterflies. You are worthy. Look at, she's opening a treasure chest. Your wealth transfer, the partner, the opportunity, the mission work. You're opening up that treasure chest, and now it's your turn to receive. So please don't block it. Know your worth. You're getting this message, the skunk message, because you are being prepared for this new massive miracle that's coming into your life, and you need to know that you're worthy of it. It says, number 35, trust the guidance you're receiving. Archangel Uriel has blessed you with a brilliant epiphany. I am also present to clear away your worries so you can trust your divine guidance. So Uriel is also the angel, I think he's called the fire of God. So he burns away anything that is not for you. So trust and call on Uriel when you're going through that breakdown, right? When you're going through the let go. Trust that it's leading you to this, and it's don't settle. You're not settling. You are so worthy of having everything that you desire. We're not taking a back seat in our story. Actually, we are taking a back seat. It's so funny. I just said that because we don't want our ego driving the car, but we also want to be the co-creator. We don't want to just like not do anything. We still have to take some sort of action. All right, this is my ever unfolding heart deck. There is an abundant treasure. Oh my gosh, you guys, I shit you not. There's an abundant treasure that is wanting to enter your life. How is your relationship with money? Do you fear losing it? It's time to heal this to allow more in. Final message. We are ending on that one. Double message of abundance coming in. You are going to be the Queen of Pentacles. And look, a bunny and a bunny. You have grown immensely around your fears and beliefs around money. You've already done the work. You're no longer the page anymore. You are the queen, and now you're finally getting the transfer. You did the work. Kudos. I'm so happy for all of you. You've embraced the in-between. You found your balance. You did not crack under all of that pressure of maybe not having money, And I just heard you were the person who took the leap of faith. You followed what the universe was guiding you to do. You left the job, you left the relationship. And because you were a humble student of God and a humble student of yourself, you didn't stay in something for the comfort of it. You left it when you felt called to leave it. And now those people are going to be rewarded with this wealth transfer, with this treasure. Okay, so get excited. The treasure could be the greatest love story on the planet. It could be you winning the lottery. It could be an inheritance. It could be this, I don't know. It could be somebody just wanting to shower you with so much love. I always think of the Jim Carrey story and how he manifested his very first thing. I think he was in like third grade or something, or second grade. And his teacher said that she always prays and just asks. She was basically teaching him to pray and to kind of manifest. So he went home and everybody else had bikes, but he didn't have a bike. So he asked the universe for a bike. 2 weeks later, a brand new bike shows up at his house. And it's because one of his friends put his name into a raffle. So he did not enter the raffle. A friend entered his name into the raffle and he won the bike. So that is proof how God works. The universe will literally, it'll move other people to buy something for you so that you can reap the benefits of it because it's what you're asking for. You just have to know you're worthy of receiving the brand new bike, receiving the money, receiving the abundance. Okay. And I'm telling you, the unconscious patterns within us can be so silent and we don't know that they're there. And that's what the work is signing up to work with coaches. I'm running my group coaching program. I hope some of you will join because I want to help you break through these patterns. I want to help you see that you are so worthy. And I went through it myself. 3 years ago, I did not feel worthy of receiving, and I didn't receive. I didn't get money. I didn't get a partnership. I was receiving the opposite. I was receiving debt. I was receiving people that were ghosting me. And now that is completely gone, and people don't do that to me anymore. Everywhere I go, people open doors for me. People are doing things for me, and it's like God doing it. And it's because I finally found my worth. And it was because I needed to uncover what was hidden underneath the surface. So if you need help, join my coaching program. It is open right now. The discounted rate is open. That will go up next week. And March 11th will be the last day that you can sign up. So get in. I'm taking 10 women with me. We're going to manifest everything. And this sounds like it's already coming. So if you feel like you're not ready and you feel like you're still living in lack and your reality is showing it to you, we need to get to the root. So sign up, okay? All right, lovies, like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell, and I will see you in the next one. All right, peace out.